I just want to point out that within the first 5 minutes of this episode, we could be looking at getting sued by the Oberoi Grand in Kolkata as well as the nation of Zimbabwe for
Yeah,
the
that's right.
slander.
And they'll ask us to pay $1 trillion, which is like 10 rupees.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
All right, Graeme Swann. So I have two questions for you.
Yes.
I remember a youngish Graeme Swann debuting in Calcutta in 2008. And, right, I think, in Chennai, sorry.
Chennai.
No,
You got
You
that
remember
wrong.
it
You-
well.
No, I'm so busy. In Chennai. Right, you made it.
You built it
I know.
up so well and then just
I
fucked it up.
love
Honestly, he's a big
Yeah.
fan of mine. He knows me
Yeah.
back to front. That famous day in Calcutta, yeah.
no, in Chennai, and I loved Rahul Dravid while growing up, and you got him out on some like 4 runs, and I was like, who is this brash, arrogant debutant? So my question
Yes.
for you is, how dare you?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I like the way you questioned it as well, rather than do it as a statement. I tell you, I do dare.
yeah, okay.
I did dare.
Good answer.
You know what? There's only two people in the history of Test cricket who've taken 2 wickets in their first over, and they're both English, and I'm one of them. And the other guy was called Richard Johnson, but that was against Zimbabwe, so it doesn't count in my view.
No.
Even though Zimbabwe had like Andy Flower at the time, it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. This was against India, and I got Gambit.
I remember-
and Dravid
I
out in
remember
my first
that.
over. I mean, no one can ever take that away from me. And just because in the second innings Sachin Tendulkar got 100 and India chased down 380 to win, I stand by my results. All right, that was not my fault.
I just want to point out that within the first 5 minutes of this episode, we could be looking at getting sued by the Oberoi Grand in Kolkata as well as the nation of Zimbabwe for
Yeah,
the
that's right.
slander.
And they'll ask
That's
us to
fine.
pay $1 trillion,
I-
which is like 10 rupees.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, Oberoi Grand, it's famous. You can do ghost tours of Kolkata, and this is one of the most famous places. So I think
Amazing.
There's the go. So I think we're safe. Secondly, bring it on, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, let's
You don't
go.
scare me.
Let's
Well,
go.
you do actually.
My second question, which I expect a confession from you, is that I watched a long time ago.
Okay.
I watched an old interview of yours on Crick Info, where you said you're very superstitious.
Yeah.
You were a superstitious cricketer
Very.
who listened to exactly every match. You listened to the same song before you entered the pitch, right? Now I think it's
Yes.
about time you reveal which song it was.
What I reveal what the song is. I'm not sure I can, because I'm still superstitious, and it might mess this up. It might mess my whole life up. All I will say is
Ooh.
this is how superstitious I was, and this is one of the reasons why I love Jimmy Anderson so much. Why he's my best mate. So in England, when we go from like home or the hotel to the ground, we don't go in a coach and a bus. Because we used to get given cars by Jaguar, which is a nice little perk of playing for England, by the way. And I used to drive everywhere. I hate being a passenger because my wife's a terrible driver, so I don't like being a passenger when she's behind the wheel. So I always drive.
Okay.
And Jimmy doesn't like driving either, so he was like my passenger every day. And we'd go in and we would listen to the same music all the time. And I tell you, I will finish. It was a song, you'd have never heard of it. It's called Farewell to the Fairground by the White Lies. Unbelievable tune. Indie band from England. Brilliant. But
Check it out.
But this one day, it was a Sunday, right? And you imagine the traffic in London is pretty much like traffic in most Indian cities, or like Mumbai. It's crazy. You go nowhere and it takes ages. But on a Sunday, obviously no one's at work and the roads are empty. It's like a ghost town. You fly through. So on this Sunday, as we went from the hotel to Lord's, which is about a mile and a half, there was a road closed, right? And it was taking us on a diversion out of central London through a place called Camden and then into Lord's. Took 20 minutes. Absolutely fine. And I got 5 wickets this day. It was like an amazing day. And so immediately, of course, I put this down to the journey that we took getting to the ground. It was nothing to do with how I bowled or how bad the Australians batted on the day, or Pakistan. I can't remember which team it was. But the next day, down at breakfast, I looked at him and went, Jimmy, he went, I know what you're going to ask. You want to drive a certain way to the ground, don't you? And I went, yes, I do. And so we went the same way. But this was now a Monday, and everyone was back at work. It took us 2 hours to get to the ground. So we turned up, almost missed the first over of the day in an Ashes Test match at Lords. We ran in through the dressing room, with 5 minutes to go, and Andy Flower, the coach, goes, "Where the hell have you been?" I was like, I'm sorry. Desperately putting on our whites and then sprinting out to the middle. But Jimmy didn't mind. But even then, when we got to the ground really late, we both then had to listen to the same song again before we got out of the car. We had stewards banging on the window, looking at the time, going, come on. We're going, shut up. And air drumming and air guitar in the car. Brilliant. Yes.
Mukesh is known for being horrendously late for all of our recordings. So Mukesh, if you ever use superstition as an excuse, I will slap you.
I thought you will say, I will get it.
No, I will slap you because I know you as a person. So I know what kind of a person you are.
They reckon if you're late for everything, I looked into this. If you're late for everything, it means you're this far from being a genius. Your mind is going off in so different directions that time is not linear to you. Space-time does not
but it's
count.
still far.
You're like the new Albert Einstein.
I'm still about yay far from a genius. Yeah, so I mean, that could be anywhere. That could be mad, delusional, idiotic. They're still late.
They also say that there's a fine line between genius and madness. So, maybe.